Hi everyone, hope you guys are doing very well. I'm pretty excited for this video because this is the mock attempt strategy. Last time someone asked for this in the comments, I was like, let's create this one. In this video, I'm going to share how I used to attempt the mocks during CAT preparation. But just a disclaimer, this is how I used to attempt. I'm not saying this is the best strategy out there. I would in fact recommend you to read the interviews of toppers on different forums so that you know how they used to tackle mocks. But let's begin with my strategy and see how I used to tackle it. So first of all, CAT 2020 is going to have three sections. It's a no-brainer. Still, I'm repeating VARC, DILR, and cons. And in this video, I'm going to share the consolidated version of three blog posts I had written on this subject. And please note that this is just the attempt strategy. I am nowhere saying that this is how you can increase your accuracy. If you want a video on accuracy, please put it down in the comments. I'll create it the next time. So let's start. The first section is VARC. Now, in VARC, my strategy was simple. It was to attempt the RCs first. The reason? 24 out of 34 questions are from RCs and they all require the same strategy of attempt. So that is why RCs first. Within those RCs, which one are you going to attempt first depends on the order you decide. And I used to decide the order on the basis of length of the passage. The reason is in the beginning of a mock, your attention span is the maximum. So you would want to attempt the lengthier passages first because they require more time. Second thing you can do is to note down the number of questions when you're reading the section for the first time. This helps because sometimes VA questions get inserted within the RC questions. Like it's like 1 to 5 question number is of RC, then you'll have a VA question, then another RC set. So if you note down the question numbers that are RC questions in the very beginning of your mock, like by spending let's say 30 seconds on this entire process, you're going to save a lot of time later. Another rule that I had was regarding time limit. So I didn't spend more than 8 to 9 minutes on any RC. Within these 8 to 9 minutes, you can decide how much time would you need to read the passage and how much would you need to solve the passage. No hard and fast rule there. And second thing was to pace up my speed of reading an RC. So whenever you read an RC, in the beginning, you spend more time because you need to understand what is the paragraph all about. Once you get that idea, you try to pace up your speed. This is going to help you because otherwise, if you don't have this in mind, you might think I have to spend more time on each and every paragraph of the passage, which is definitely not required. Last thing that I had over here was whether I am going to attempt the questions side by side while reading the passage or at the end. My strategy was to read it at the end. What I did was first I read the passage. Alongside, I created some mental notes, which means that I tried to memorize where each fact is. So, where exactly is a particular point being made in the passage, which paragraph number? I would not write it down during the mock, but I would just create a mental note. And then, when I am attempting the questions later, I would try to refer back to those paragraphs just because I had those mental notes ready. Regarding VA, honestly, I'm not the right person to recommend anything here because I left this part on the basis of whatever questions I attempted during the mocks. I didn't practice this a lot, and I had just one rule here, which was to leave the para jumbles for the end. They were never my friend. They had so many options, like 120 options, which were possible because of Tita, and then I just ended up getting them wrong. I don't know why, but this is what I did for VARC. Let's move on to DILR. Okay, in this, I spent the first 5 minutes to decide the order of attempt. There are 8 sets, and certainly this section has started coming out to be more difficult. So you have to decide which ones are the easier sets and which one are you going to attempt first. Now, on what basis do you decide the order so that you can attempt the rest of them later? This is a strategy which is based on familiarity, something which has also been shared by Shaurya Gupta. She converted IIM Ahmedabad this year and wrote a blog post on this. So, what familiarity means is, first of all, you decide whether you are more comfortable with and familiar with the LR sets or the DI sets. For me, it was LR, so I made sure that whenever I'm spending those first 5 minutes of the mock on deciding the sets ka order, I would note down the question numbers which are LR questions because I liked LR more, so I would want to attempt LR questions first. Second thing I did was to decide the topic which brings in the familiarity. For example, seating arrangement is something I felt very comfortable with, so I would want to attempt the seating arrangement questions first. But now not every seating arrangement question is going to be an easier one. So the next parameter becomes difficulty, which you decide by spending around 1 minute to read the entire set and the constraints. After 1 minute, if you feel it's easier to solve, then you spend another 4 minutes trying to solve it. If you are not able to solve it even after spending 4 extra minutes on it, then the best thing is to leave the set. Please don't fall into that trap of you keep solving a particular set for a longer period of time. The idea is to attempt as many sets as possible. So this is all about DILR. In cons, the strategy which is very famous, talked about by a lot of toppers also, and if you haven't heard of it, this is going to change how many attempts are you currently making in cons. This is called the round strategy. This basically means you prioritize which questions are you going to attempt on the basis of whether they are easier, shorter, or familiar. So you try to attempt these three kinds of questions first, and how you do that is by dividing the entire quant section into three rounds. I mean, you can also have two rounds, but I used to have three rounds, which is round one, round two, round three. We'll talk about them. But before we talk about them, just a point here. In quants, you just have to do two things. One is to read the statement, and the other is to attempt the question. We will bring this into the different rounds that we are going to discuss. In the first round, you can spend 15 minutes to find out the easier questions. How you do that is you start from the very first question, you spend 10 seconds on reading the statement, and if you think that the question is easier, which means that you know the formula or it is just a concept based question which is going to require less than 1 minute to be able to solve, then you attempt it and you spend no more than 1 minute on it. This does not mean that whatever question you come across, you're going to spend 1 minute on solving it. You have to decide in the first 10 seconds whether the question is of an easier type or not. This is round one. At the end of round one, what you'll have is that you would have read all the 34 questions and you would have attempted some of them which you found to be easier. In round two, apart from the easier questions, you attempt the familiar and the lengthier questions. It might so be the case that in the first round you came across a question which seemed like easier but was probably lengthier. This you should keep to round two because a lot of time will be spent on reading also. So keep this for round two. Also keep the familiar questions for round two. So sometimes what happens is a question is not as easy, like we are not aware of a direct formula to solve it, but we feel like we can solve it because we've seen that question somewhere. Keep it for round two as well. In round two, you can spend 30 seconds trying to solve the question. If after 30 seconds you feel like you are near towards the, I mean, you get the gist of the question, then you spend another 1.5 minutes on trying to solve it, and within 2 minutes, you should be able to solve the question in round two. In round three, which is just 10 minutes of time available, you try to solve all the questions that you were not able to solve in round one and round two. Now, some important tips for this section, because I understand that this section is not everyone's forte, especially for non engineers, this section can be a little tricky. Important tips here. First one, don't fall into the ego trap. So by ego trap, I mean sometimes we are familiar with a particular set or a question, and then we feel like this is something we must be able to solve because we have solved this so many times in the past. You try solving it, you are not able to reach anywhere, and then you end up wasting a lot of time, more than the stipulated time that you had decided, which costs you marks. This is not a question where you are being tested on your level of intelligence on being able to solve a hard question. Instead, this is a test which checks whether you are able to select the easier questions first or not, and whether you're able to attempt with better decision making or not. So don't fall into that ego trap, leave that question. Second is use mark for review. This option is available in the mocks. So let's say in the first round, if you're attempting the different questions and you realize that there are some questions which are easier and you knew the formula but you're suddenly not able to recall, just mark that question for review so that you can look back at that question in round two. Next is to improve your reading speed, because it might so happen you might be thinking, how can I read a question within 10 seconds or 30 seconds? Don't worry, this certainly takes place, and I'll share a link in the description in which I've shared how IIM students are able to read so fast or they're able to comprehend better. This is a practice that we automatically come across during our 2 years of journey at the IIMs, because you are supposed to read so many case studies. So I'll share a link in the description. That's a post I had written on this. You can read it. And finally, the tip is to never count the questions while you are solving the mocks. What happens is, when you're attempting the cons section, your eye is always towards, like, you keep looking at the fact that you have not attempted enough questions and that you're going to end up score less. Sometimes you even start counting the number of questions that you've attempted. Please don't do that. It's going to cost you a lot of time, and it's also going to hamper your mindset. Don't try to do that. At the end of this strategy, what I have realized is that in round 1 I am able to attempt around 10 questions. By the end of round 2 I'm able to attempt 25 questions, and at the end of the entire process I am done with 28 questions. I mean, I'm not that I am done right now, but I used to do this, and this is the average number of attempts that I used to have in the cons section. So this is all about it. I guess I've covered all the sections, covered all the tips. In case you have a question on any of these sections or in the attempt strategy itself, let me know in the comments. Again, remember, if you need a post or a video on how to improve your accuracy in these sections, please let me know in the comments, because this video was also created basis a previous comment feedback. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm so happy I shared this, because there's still a couple of months left for CAT. I just really hope you guys are preparing well. Do well in the exam, try this, and let me know if any of these strategies are working for you. Best of luck. See you next time.